Acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land we're performing on tonight, the Boomerang and the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I want to pay my respects to their elders, past and present, to their storytellers, to their dancers, to their singers, and to anybody here tonight. I want to extend the respect to anybody tonight with Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander heritage. I also want to acknowledge the role played by people from my country in dispossessing the traditional custodians of this land. This is tribal land. It was then, it is now, and it always will be. What is that sound? Where is it coming from? All around. What are you running from? Something you can't understand, something you cannot command. That's how I know. She's got a new spell. Yeah, that's how I know. She's got a new spell. What's going down? Who's moved this room from around me? Where has it gone? I fear this night will drown me, so I lie awake all night, 'cause I can't sleep with something I can't fight. And she's got a new spell, yeah, that's how I know. She's got a new spell. The laws of gravity are very, very strict, and you're just bending them for your own benefit. One minute she says she's gone to get the cat in, and it's fine now. She's mumbling in Latin. She took the stars out of the sky and baked them in a pie. That's how I know. She's got a new spell. Yeah, that's how I know. That she's got a new spell. The laws of gravity are very, very strict, and you're just bending them for your own benefit. Yeah. She stole the scene and the scenery, the script and the machinery, and that's how I know. She's got a new spell. Yeah, that's how I know. She's got a new spell. Welcome to the third and final night of my 2020 tour of Australia, Melbourne dates. It's been a long time coming, brothers, sisters, but here we are. We've made it through. How many of you have been here all 3 nights then? You lucky bastards. Keep the punchlines to yourself. That's all I ask. Last night was one of the weird things about this gig is not now because we've only got 2 days off between Sydney, but it's been like a week since we did this in Adelaide. So it's like a week since we played these sets because they're different sets every night. So the traditional set, the first set, that's fine, but the other 2 sets, last night I was getting a few words back to front. And tonight, it requires judicious use of this here guitar capo to get in the right place to sing these songs, and I kind of, sometimes I get it right, sometimes I don't. And for me it's not such a problem, but when I have Neil on to play piano as well, if I put the capo in the wrong place while I'm rapping away, chatting to you, so I'm chatting to you, I don't think about him, and I put the capo in the wrong place, he can see that I've done that. So he's got to either, in his head, very quickly transpose the entire song, or say something. And so I've given him a safe word. I've given him a safe word to use in the corner. So if you hear him go, you know what a safe word? You know what a safe word is, don't you? Yeah. A safe word is a word that must be intelligible if you have a tangerine taped in your mouth. All right? So it can't be anything just single syllable like ouch or stop it. It has to be something that is clearly intelligible and something you would never say in that context. So thank you. A very handy safe word that I use is Lonnie Donegan is my safe word. Because obviously I do talk a lot about skillful, but not in that context. And obviously, you can hear, it couldn't be anything else, could it? You know, it's like you can't mistake it for anything else. It's really important. It used to be, my old safe word used to be Margaret Thatcher, but it made that dog bark, so I had to stop using it. So let's see if I can sing this song in this key. If we're doing this every night, I'd know what key this song is in. But here I am thinking to myself, I want to sing this key. Oh, it seems a bit low. Maybe I'll bring up the, see this works. Oh yeah, I like that. One of them's off for food and the other one's off his head, and both of them are off down the boozer to drink a toast to the one that he hates most, and she says there are no winners, only losers. Well, if there are no winners, then what the fuck is this as he watches her complete a lap of honor, and he sits in the stands with his head in his hands, and he thinks of all the things he'd like to bring down upon her. But revenge will bring cold comfort in this darkest hour as the jukebox says it's all over now, and he stands and he screams, what have I done wrong? I've fallen in love with a little time bomb. I've fallen in love with a little time bomb. In public he's such a man, he's punching at the walls with his bare and bloody hands. He's screaming and shouting, acting crazy, but at home he sits alone and he cries like a baby. Oh, he holds your letters, but he can't read them as he fights this loneliness that you call freedom. You said this would happen and you were not wrong. I've fallen in love with a little time bomb. I've fallen in love with a little time bomb. Said this would happen and you were not wrong. I've fallen in love with a little time bomb. I've fallen in love with a little time bomb. So where we are tonight, we're basically in the back stretch of this run. So we're going through the yellow album, the black album, and the baby poo coloured album. It's a tough old road, let me tell you, for two reasons. Firstly, it's heartbreak. It's heartbreak. First of all, literal heartbreak, in which I get totally ringed out in a Titanic love affair that becomes workers' playtime. And then a different kind of when I spend a shitload of fucking money I haven't got trying to be a pop star and it comes to nothing. Economic heartbreak. But by God, it was fun. Those were the days. And then redemption in the form of becoming someone's dad. So it works out all right in the end. But between here and there, there's going to be a lot of heartbreak. Last night it was kind of chop and clang. You know, by this point in the evening, I had the audience up against the back wall. Bang! They were like, oh, flipping heck. And I didn't really let them come back down halfway through. But here tonight, I'm just going to be like, imagine I'm like filling a great big bathtub of warm water for you, and we're all going to get soft and cuddly together. Yeah. Basically, they're all kind of mid-pace ballads, you fucks. If you come for the sing-along, that was last night. Tonight, it's the weep-along. With a bit of politics thrown in because I'm Billy Bragg. But what do you expect? Digging boys for an extended stay. Those are the final orders to come down that day. Waiting to be saved in the Philippines. You wait forever for the young Marines. Now I believe to be here is right, but I have to say that I'm scared tonight. Crouching in this hole with a mouth full of sand. What comes first, the country or the man? Look at those slanted eyes coming up over the hill, catching us by surprise. It's time to kill or to be killed. Over here, over there, it's the same everywhere. A boy cries out for his mama before he dies for his home. All my life I wanted to be as clever and strong as my best friend Lee. We grew up together along Half Moon Bay. Lee was Japanese, born in the USA. When Tommy was fighting Jerry along the River Seine, me and Lee, we wanted to do the same. Then they bombed Pearl Harbor at the break of day. I was headed for these islands and Lee was hauled away. They said, look at his slanted eyes, as guilty can be. Sent here as enemy spies to sabotage the land of the free. Over here, over there, it's the same everywhere. A boy cries out for his mama before he dies for his home. I never got home. My platoon was never saved. That little foxhole became my island grave. Lee got out of jail, but a prisoner he remained till he ended his own life to lose that ball and chain. And he said, oh, little slanted eyes, can't you forgive and forget? And he said, oh, Mr. Friendly Ghost, can you catch water in a net? Over here, over there, it's the same everywhere. A boy cries out for his mama before he dies for his home. A boy cries out for his mama before he dies for his home. Thank you, Greg Trooper wrote that song. I love this guitar. One thing I love about this guitar is it has a well, first of all, it's as old as me. It's a 1957 Gibson 125, and but it kind of smells of old books. It's got that. It's a shame you're all so far away. It's a lovely old book, and I started using it after during the lockdown. It was a good time to do a little bit of online polling among your people in your Facebook group. You know, there's a special backdoor key. You can get in the back of people's Facebooks and have mess around with their soul a bit. If you've got the right numbers. So I did a little bit of polling, and it transpires that the average Billy Bragg fan would rather go to bed with a good book than me. Yeah. But that's okay. I'm the same. I'm exactly the same. I would rather go to, you know, all that other business, all that other fuss. I haven't got the time for that anymore. So I thought, if I've got this here kind of like pheromone type guitar with me. That was a bit weird, that wasn't it? Sorry about that. Don't know where that came from, he says, knowingly. Yeah. So I kind of, yeah. I'll just leave that. Shall I just leave that one? When I was young, I told my mom gonna walk on the moon someday. Armstrong Aldrin spoke to me from Houston and Cape Kennedy, and I watched the eagle landing on a night when the moon was full. And as he tugged the tide, I knew that deep inside I too could feel its pull. I lay in my bed and dreamed I walked the sea of tranquility. I knew someday soon we'd all sail to the moon. And the high tide of technology, but the dreams had all been taken, and the window seats taken too. And 2001 already come and gone. What am I supposed to do? Now that the space race is over, it's been and it's gone, and I'll never get to the moon. Now that the space race is over, and I can't help feel we've all grown up too soon. My record. Now my dreams have all been shattered, and my wings are tattered too. But I can still fly, but not half as high as once I wanted to. Now that the space race is over, it's been and it's gone, and I'll never get to the moon. Now that the space race is over now, can't help feel that we've all grown up too soon. My son and I stand beneath the great night sky. We gaze up in wonder. I'm telling the tale of Apollo. He says, tell me the truth, Dad, why did they ever go? It may look like some empty gesture to go all that way just to come back, but don't offer me a place out in cyberspace, 'cause we're in the hills that hide. Now that the space race is over, it's been and it's gone, and I'll never get out of my room. Now that the space race is over now, can't help feel that we're all just going nowhere. New Anderson is here with us again, ladies and gentlemen. Got the old Joanna. I read an article in the paper today about the brand new spacesuit that they're going to have for the moonshot that's going to happen before the end of that decade. I'm not going to do that song then. I'm not going to do that song this is, eh? It's either them or fucking Elon Musk. One of the two. They're cooking it up for me. You just have to tweak the lyrics sometimes, didn't you? You just have to tweak the freaking lyrics. I've had relations, we've killed so many nations, of night parties, and women of all classes. Just because you're fine, I won't turn you away. If you stick around, surely we can find the right pronoun. Sexuality, betcha mate. Young and warm and wild and free. Sexuality, your laws do not apply to me. The nuclear submarine sinks off the coast of Sweden. Headlines give me headaches when I read them out. I had an uncle who once played for the Red Star Belgrade. Said some things are really best left unspoken. I prefer it all to be out in the open. Sexuality, young and warm and wild and free. Sexuality, your laws do not apply to me. Sexuality, don't threaten me with morrissey. Sexuality, what happened to that guy? I demand your honesty. I'm sure that everybody knows how much my body hates me. It lets me down most every time, makes me rash and hasty. I feel a total jerk before your naked body of work. I'm getting way now through this information. I'll have a Friday night. Same sex doesn't mean no sex. Just use your imagination. Stop playing with yourselves. Sing currency hotels. I look like Robert De Niro. I drive a Mitsubishi Pajero. Don't tell the Greens. Duality. Young woman, wild and free. Sexuality, your lies do not apply to me. Sexuality, Come eat and drink and sleep with me. Sexuality. We can be what we want to be. I slightly tweaked the lyrics of that one. Not about Morris, he deserves everything he fucking gets. What a terrible turn that's taken, eh? But what happened was I was doing a show in Boston a couple of years ago, and after the show a woman said to me, Bill, you know that song where you're having a drink with a gay man? I was like, Sexuality, yeah. She's like, you know, it's 2018, Bill, it's not very radical anymore, is it, mate? I'm like, yeah, I guess not. She's like, no. You want to know where who needs some bloody allies? Some cis allies at that? The transgender and the non-binary community, they need a bit of allyship. And I've always believed that ally is a verb. So I got on to sneaking the lyrics around, caused a right shitstorm in England, it did. But those crazy people who... But the trouble is, in my country, we can't afford to ignore it. We really can't afford to ignore it. The vice chairman of the Conservative Party gave an interview this week in which he said the quiet thing out loud. He said the next election is going to be about culture wars and trans rights. Okay? That's the shit. So that's why we really need to take this very, very seriously. And unfortunately, one of the people who's been stirring that shit up in England is going to be in Melbourne tomorrow, stirring that self-same shit up in this country. Indeed, a woman called, Kelly J. Keane is going to be here at, whereabouts? It's midday, I think, in Melbourne, isn't it? Anyone know where? Parliament Steps, thank you, thank you. There've been big, thank you. There've been big demonstrations in other cities, so it'd be a shame if, you know, you were left out of that. But please, listen to me. Be peaceful there, because that woman is after one thing, and that's clicks. That's all she's after. Watch her online. She's smirking all the way through it. She has no interest in anybody's rights except her own. She's just one of those horrible, pernicious people that have popped up through the internet. But let me just tell you something else about what's behind it and why that idea about the next election being about culture wars and trans rights could be easily transplanted here. If you look at our posters, very, very small at the bottom, it says, sponsored by CPAC Network. Now this is how she can afford to come to Australia for 2 weeks and stay in lovely hotels and travel around and get all that stuff. Now you're asking yourself, who are CPAC Network? Now CPAC is the Conservative Political Action Committee in the United States of America. They had a big conference, they're totally pro-Trump. They had a huge conference a couple of weeks ago, of which one of the speakers said that the transgender people need to be eliminated. That's who they are. Okay, among many other things they said. And this is supported by CPAC Australia. Now CPAC Australia have a lovely website where they say that their aim is to promote the values, and I'm quoting from the website now, to promote the values of Howard, Thatcher and Reagan. Yeah. And she's also sponsored by a group called Binary Australia, who you may not have heard of, but I'm sure you heard of the Marriage Alliance, who tried to stop equal marriage in this country. Well, they changed their name. Guess what too? Binary Australia. And here's the thing, brothers, sisters and siblings, here's the thing. If the trans community lose, if they are pushed outside of our society, the gay community will be next. The gay community will be next. Abortion will come after that. This is an idea from the United States of America. It's already happening else around the world. We have to hold the line by giving our solidarity, our support to our trans siblings and ensure I know it's a tough one. I recognise it's a tough one. It's not as easy and straightforward, but they need cis allies. They really do need as many cis allies as they can get. And there is in my audience, there is a cohort who struggle a little bit with this. Let me be kind to them and call them geezers my age. It's a tough one, brothers, I realise that. But listen, let me tell you, we are never going to be hip again, all right? It's true. Even me up here with all these lights on me in this red shirt and these slightly tight trousers. And we're never going to be pretty again either, we know that. But there's really no reason, brothers, that we shouldn't, with a little bit of thought and a little bit of consideration, we shouldn't be as relevant as we were back in the day when we were fighting the good fight for the miners, against nuclear weapons, to support the indigenous population of Australia. There's no reason why we shouldn't be that relevant again. So, yeah, this is a song about love and the capitalist system. Said she could see no way ahead, and I was probably better off without you. She said to face up to the fact that you weren't coming back, and she could make me happy like you used to. But I'm sorry to say I took her away, knowing everything she said was true. And that's the price I pay for loving you the way that I do. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. There's something inside that hurts my foolish pride to visit the places we used to go together. Not a day goes by that I don't sit and wonder why your feelings for me didn't last forever. Girl, I love you so much that, baby, it's such I walk a mile with a stone in my shoe. And that's the price I pay for loving you the way that I do. Yeah, that's the price I pay for loving you the way that I do. Yeah, beautiful. That phone out of my way, for the things I must say are empty. You don't believe they're true, and that's the price I pay for loving you the way that I do. Yeah, that's the price I pay for loving you the way that I do. Girl, I love you so much that, baby, it's such I walk a mile with a stone in my shoe. No. I'll let me do it 3 times. And that's the price I pay for loving you the way that I do. That's the price I pay for loving you the way that I do. Yeah, that's the price I pay for loving you the way that I do. And you know that I do. I've got it, there you go, before you go. Yes, so, the other thing I have to do a lot of is, it seems tune up, as you can see me messing around here, but it's not because the guitar's particularly out of tune. I actually have perfect pitch, and I know when it's not in tune or in tune. I'm actually checking my Twitter feed. to see what people think about the how it's going so far. It's really, really good. Last night it really got a bit out of hand because obviously last night was the patron saint of Aussie rules, St Kilda's Day yesterday, you know that. And I was getting the result of the game, I was getting the Tigers game here on the thing, and I didn't know I was going to explain to everybody that it was a draw. I thought it's going to start a fight. They won't believe me, they'll think everything I've said is not true. I try to suggest that it could possibly have been a draw. People were weeping in the streets when we came out. What's it all about? You come watch some soccer when it's 0-0 and everyone's happy. That takes some explaining to the Americans. Why is it good that it's 0-0? Well, because England have got 1 point now, drawing with Italy, and now they're going to go to the World Cup. Americans would be like, we're all right. They're a strange bunch, aren't they? Mate, don't be starting me. I was trying to explain to the audience tonight, because of the nature of the material, it's just a little bit more relaxed. It's like, and also being the third night and all that, you know, there's periods where I kind of, you know, sort of like just now, when you were singing beautifully there, I get really relaxed. But the danger in that is that I go off into the bushes and disappear and don't come back for 20 minutes. And it only takes something like that, mate, to get me going. So don't get me started. All right, I'm doing my best to hold it together so everyone can get home before the trams end. To wit. Bad timing and we found a lot of things out this way. And there's you, a little black cloud in a dress. The temptation to take the precious things we have apart to see how they work. For they never fit together again. If this is rain, let it follow me and drown me. If these are tears, let them flow. Must I paint you a picture about the way that I feel? You know my love for you is stronger. You know my love for you is real. It took a short walk and a talk to change the rules of engagement, while you search frantically for reverse. Then claiming that virtue never existed is no virtue at all. So I lost my ignorance. And now the bells across the river chime out your name. I look across to them again. Must I paint you a picture about the way that I feel? You know my love for you is stronger. You know my love for you is real. All your friends said, come down, you'll never fly. On that imperfect day, we threw it all away. Crisis after crisis, with such intensity. This would never happen if we lived by the sea. Important decisions in life are made between two people in bed. I found that out at Mike's. just turn around and walk away like we never met. We used to be so brave. I dreamt the world stopped turning as we climbed the hill. I dreamt impossible dreams and we were lovers still. Must I paint you a picture about the way that I feel? You know my love for you is stronger. You know my love for you is real. Must I paint you a picture about the way that I feel? You know my love for you is stronger. You know my love for you is real. Must I paint you a picture? Mr. Neil Anderson, ladies and gentlemen, bringing the Carla Chili right into the room there. The backing vocals as well. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that? Thank you, Neil. And you know what's great? You know what's great? We do live by the sea now. And she's the Conservative MP for Aldershot. That's not true. I don't know where she is. Well, she's happy wherever she is. Yeah, when I finished mastering and mixing Workers' Playtime, I thought the very least I could do was let her have a listen to it, have a chance to have a listen to it, and you know, because I was going to put the album out, and most of the songs were about her. I thought it was only fair, and she. Because we hadn't seen each other for a while. So I knew every day after she finished working in the bakery, she'd cycle over Hammersmith Bridge. So there were benches there. I sat on the bench on Hammersmith Bridge, and when she cycled by, I gave her a cassette and said, "You really should listen to this, because all the songs, they're the songs from, you know, that period." She took the cassette from me and threw it into the river from the bridge. I was heartbroken. I was absolutely beside myself. It took me days to get over the fact that if only she'd done it a week beforehand, I could have got that scene in the song. For fuck's sake. It's like, what the fuck? That was like just too good. It was so cinematic. When they make the rom-com of my life, what would it be called, do you think? The Saturday Boy. It could only be called The Saturday Boy, couldn't it? That was last night and I've missed it. I didn't play it anyway, but anyway. When William Blake was a child, he came home from school one day and told his mother that while walking on Primrose Hill, he'd seen a tree full of angels and they spoke to him. And his mother smacked him soundly and sent him to bed without any supper. Yeah, it's not easy being a visionary, let me tell you, from personal experience. A little bit more compassion, eh? That's what this song is about. I'm going upfield, we're upon a hillside. I'm going higher than I've ever been before. That's where you'll find me, over the horizon, waiting in the river, reaching for that other shore. Dreamed I saw a tree full of angels upon Primrose Hill, and I flew with them over the great way until I had seen my fill of such poverty and misery. Should tear my soul apart. I I've got a socialism of the heart. I've got a socialism of the heart. I'm going upfield, way up on the hillside. I'm going higher than I've ever been before. That's where you find me, over the horizon, wading in the river, reaching for that other shore. The angels asked me how I felt about all I'd seen and heard. That they spoke to me, a pagan, gave me cause to doubt their word. But they laughed and said it doesn't matter if you help us in our art. You've got a socialism of the heart. You've got a socialism of the heart. I'm going upfield, up on the hillside. I'm going higher than I've ever been before. That's where you find me, over the horizon, wading in the river, reaching for that other shore. Their faces shone and they were gone, and I was left alone. And I walked these ancient empire streets till I can tiptoe to my home. And when I woke next morning, I vowed to play my part. I've got a socialism of the heart. Yes, I have. I've got a socialism of the heart. That's why I'm going upfield, way up on the hillside. I'm going higher been before. That's where you'll find me, over the blue horizon, wading in the river, reaching for that other shore, reaching for that other shore, reaching for that other shore. You're too kind. Put an album out, William Blokes. Some guy reviewed it, and it kind of like had a go at me for not being as political as my other albums had. But since between the last two albums, some very important things have happened. Firstly, the Cold War had ended, and then Margaret Thatcher had been deposed, and then I become someone's dad. Now, any one of those three things would have forced Billy Bragg to have a rethink. All three of them in between an album is bound to be like, whoa. Flipping heck. So I'm trying to think of a way of articulating those ideas I've always had in a kind of non-ideological way, in a non-ideological kind of world that we still live in now. Which is why the Tories are desperate to get on the culture wars. There's no ideology anymore. Labour hardly anyway. They're the same. So, I'm trying to get to that. And really what it's always been about for me, it's been about compassion more than ideology. The currency of music is empathy. That's what we're talking about up here. And it doesn't even have to be, music with lyrics to be about empathy. If you go to a club and they're playing some banger and you're really getting off on it because it's doing something powerful to you, and you see loads of other people moved in the same way, you feel like you're not alone. You're not the only person who feels this power. And that's empathy. That's empathy coursing through you, Or it may be, I write a song, I'm trying to get you to feel empathy for that person in that song, for a situation that you've never been in, some empathy there. Or the other way round, and this is just as important, you may have a song that articulates something that you can't quite put into words. We all have those songs. If you don't have one, I encourage you to get one, because they can be really, really seriously helpful in difficult times. And in that case, you're drawing from some empathy from the song. You're thinking, fuck me, this person's read my diary. It's all about empathy. It's all about empathy. And you know what? We live in a period when there's a fucking war on empathy, where anyone who shows the least bit of compassion for anybody outside of their perceived group is immediately dismissed as virtue signalling or politically correct or woke, whatever the fuck woke means. It's like, you know, what is it that these people fear? What do they fear? You know, I think sometimes they're so fucking macho, these artists, people like Trump, people like Johnson, people like Erdogan. It's all about, you know, they're so rough and tough, any kind of concession to feeling they find abhorrent. I mean, fuck me, it's like that's what we're up against. It's not an ideological fight anymore, it's a fight about compassion, it's a fight about empathy, it's a fight about solidarity, about the common good. That's what we're talking about. There's always that kind of frisson in the audience when they can see my midriff. I'll ask you to control yourself. I'm 65 years old. I'm two little girls' grandpa. Don't think, get me out of it. Now the other thing, someone pedantically said to me yesterday about these things. Actually, this is slightly what was the word? Not misspelled, but that actually there's another album out there, like Drifting Like Pluto out in the Billy Bragg, but actually in between the yellow one and the black one, there was a red one. Now, I have to say, that one is a special album in that I can't really remember the chords to any of the songs on it. Fortunately, it has one or two acapella songs on there, or at least songs that I can perform a cappella. And when we were in Adelaide, some geezer came from basically a communist club, a communist working men's club there, gave me the t-shirt of their club, and it had some of the words to the Internationale on there, and I was like, oh, well, I'm sorry, madam. I do apologise, I won't sing it. That reaction before. You must be the last Marxist in Victoria. For you, madam, I'll see how much of it I can remember. The hardest thing about it, though, is you have to pitch it right because the chorus soars. If you go into like if I just whoa, like from here, I'm like jumping it's like jumping up a cliff. You have to stand back and think, okay, I've got to be just calm and think about getting up there. It's a long way up there. And you'll see at the end of the chorus, it's right up. I don't sing it often, so I don't have a key for it. I don't sing it often, I just kind of have to. I stopped singing the original because the lyrics were too archaic, madam. Arise ye starvelings from your slumbers, arise ye criminals of want, for freedom in revolt now slumbers, and here ends the age of Kant. It doesn't even rhyme. Never mind, I fucking don't know what it means. So if you will allow me. No, come on. You're supposed to shout revisionist then. Come on. Now we're definitely in rambling Bill Bragg territory here now. Let me just pull this back together. Come on, Frank. Give me a wave. Come on, tell me to get the fuck on with it. I will do it, madam. Now I've mentioned it. Stand up, all victims of oppression, for the tyrants fear your might. Don't cling so hard to your possessions, for you have nothing if you have no rights. Let racist ignorance be ended, for respect makes the empires fall. Freedom is merely privilege extended, unless enjoyed by one and all. So come, brothers and sisters, for the struggle carries on. The Internationale unites the world in song. So comrades, come round. the human race. There you go. Stay calm. Stay calm. I know. It's back to heartbreak now, I'm afraid. Yeah. You fans of heartbreak, I know you're here. It's a weepy one. All right. This is my sort of singer-songwriter persona that I don't often out. But it is in there. It is literally true that there aren't, on the later records, there just aren't the same amount of bangers. It's as there were on the early ones. It's just one of those things. So it's good for me because it's kind of like I have to rely on other skills. Because it's so easy just to crank that up and go, and people just kind of like get blown away by it. But when I have to deal with this sort of stuff. Between marks and marzipan in the dictionary, there was Mary. Between the deep blue sea and the devil, that was me. If ever anyone could help me with my obsession with the young Susanna York, it was Mary. Pajamas. She asked me for something, I gave her the short answer. She read our stars out loud, and I knew then that we should have gone sailing. But we stayed home instead, fighting on the waterbed with the honeymoon couple on drugs. Me and the lightest. If she wanted to be a farmer's wife, I would endure that muddy life. I would dig for victory. And the sound of happy couples coupling happily in the dark. While you and I sat down at tea, I remember you said to me that no amount of poetry would mend this broken heart. You can put new around if you want to make a start. All my friends from school introduced me to their spouses. I'm left standing here with my hands down the front of my trousers. I just don't know what's to be done. I wonder sometimes, how did Dad meet Mum, and how did they conceive of me? Tell me, Mary. Boys who came to the shop always made her laugh much more than I did. When I told her this must stop, she didn't bat an eyelid. She said, you know, honey, it's such a shame you'll never be any good at this game. You bruise too easily. So I said, Mary. Two brothers took me out of circulation for the duration. We went our separate ways, but she still loved me, she still has my door key. Like a bully boy in a Benetton shop, you're never happy with what you've got till what you've got has gone. So indeed. That whizzed by that, didn't it? That line, some people have asked me about that line. All my friends from school introduced me to their spouses line. But it was something I read when I was 14 years old, something that Patti Smith said. Patti Smith said that all great artists have one hand down the front of their trousers. And, come on. It was when I read that, age 14, that I knew one day I would sell out 3 nights at the Forum in Melbourne. And I've practiced assiduously since then to ensure. Yeah, actually, I thought we'd done all the Wanking and Rain songs last night. I thought they were the early albums. Apparently not. I'm not even sure if this one has a wanking reference in it. Sometimes when you lose your way to me, I think you don't care at all. If you don't get it soon, I'll tear that clock down from the wall. Your family and friends don't understand. They treat me so strange. The book you said to read, well I have read, but nothing's changed. The clock goes forward, the clocks go back, yeah, here I sit as if I was the only one. Oh, you cannot hear me. Oh, you cannot hear me. Can anybody hear me out there? He's up on his high horse again. You're down in the park. I'm left to fight my impulses alone here in the dark. The chain that fell off my bike last night is now wrapped round your heart. Sometimes I think that fate has been against us from the start. Long to let our love run free, yeah. Here I am, a victim of geography, and oh, you cannot hear me. Oh, you cannot hear me. Can anybody hear me out there? And she said, kiss me, oh, live in a land where the soul won't love her alone. now see, that's part of the problem. What I did you notice what I did in there? It was the back to front. The bike chain, his and her, I've got them the wrong way round. And you see, I don't know the lyrics to these songs. I know it sounds weird. I don't know the lyrics to the songs. If you ask me to write them down, I wouldn't be able to do it. In fact, if you ask me in the verse before, what are the words in the next line, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I'm relying on a guy in the front down there who sings all the lyrics, and I watch his lips and I kind of lip read what he's doing. No, I do that sometimes. I've had to ask people in the front row what the flipping words are, because they tend to know. They're the maddest people. Get right down the front and centre. Oh yeah. But I'm using it's a weird thing. It's a technique called flow state, which you might be familiar with. I don't know if any of you have ever driven a stick shift car, but when you're driving a stick shift car, the last thing you want to think about is what you're doing with the clutch and the brake and the accelerator. If you think about all that, you just keep kangarooing it. Are we allowed to say that? Yeah, kangaroo. I didn't know if it was offensive. I'll get myself in trouble here. What we call kangaroo in the car. Yeah, but if you think about it, you'll just keep stalling. You'll keep stalling the car. You don't think about it. You look out the front, you think about what's in front of you, what you're going to have for your dinner, what's on the radio, whatever. That's flow state. So when I'm singing these songs, I am really not thinking about the songs or the chords. I'm just relying on this flow state to kind of bring it to me. Because I wrote the songs, they're somewhere in here somewhere. It's a weird thing, isn't it? Because I used to think, I'll be playing these songs and I'll be thinking to myself, I wonder what we're going to have for dinner tomorrow. And I used to think it was really bad. I used to think, concentrate, for crying out loud, concentrate. And I thought, no, don't. Because when you do think of the lyrics, that's when you fuck them up. That's when you, because what happens is, you play one of these songs, you fuck the lyrics up, and then you don't play it for another 7 days, and you're in the song, you've totally forgotten, you're in the song, and suddenly that line comes like a hurdle in a steeplechase, comes up like that. And you think, oh fuck, I fucked this up last time, then I don't fuck it up again. It's best not to think about it at all. Now that works really well on a song that I've written the lyrics to, but if I ain't written the lyrics, I'm really in trouble, so this could go anywhere. Somewhere. Wait now. One of the things I like to do is always throw in a song I can't remember how to play. Rome never looks where she treads, and always her heavy hooves fall on our stomachs, our hearts and our heads. And Rome never heeds when we call, the centuries march on, that is all, and we gather behind them in hordes, with no filter down their wall, with only our tongues for our swords, for we are the little folk neither to love or to hate. Leave us alone and you'll see how we can bring down the state. Moths making holes in the cloak, rats gnawing cables into mistletoe, killing an oak. This little work that we do, yes, and we little folk too. We are as busy as they, working our works out of you. Watch and you'll see us someday. we are the little flower queen. Too little to love or to hide. Leave us alone and you'll see how we can bring down the stage. Yes, it is true, we are not strong, but we know people that are. Yes, and we'll guide them along to crush and destroy you in war. We will be slaves just the same. Then we have always been slaves, but you will die of the shame. And then we will dance on your graves, for we are the little folk we. Too little to love or to hate. Leave us alone and you'll see how we can bring down the stage. We are the worm in the wood. We are the thorn in the foot. We are the taint in the blood. We are the rot of the root. So what do you do on a St Patrick's Day in Melbourne then? What do you do if it's St Patrick's Day? I'm thinking to myself this morning when I woke up, what should I do? What should I do for St Patrick's Day? Something, not here, I don't mean at the show. I mean in the day. In the day, what can I do today? Something in town to celebrate that doesn't involve getting painted green and covered in guineas. So what do you think I did? I went down to the State Library and had a look at Ned Kelly's armour. Seemed to be a kind of St Patrick's Day in Melbourne kind of thing to do. And you'll know from earlier nights I'm a bit fond of books, so I had a look in the reading room as well. Went round and pulled a few out and had a look in them until I saw a sign that said, "Please do not replace books on the shelves." Too late. I've done my mischief. But I wondered if I had any appropriate songs for St Patrick's Day, and I thought, you know, I just might. From this period, I have an appropriate song I can play for you. But before I do, I just want to say this is a song that really is about the art of songwriting. There's something in here that's really revelatory to anybody who's ever wondered about how songwriting works. There's a line here which says, "I gave her the gifts of the mind, I gave her the secret sign." And what the writer is talking about is that he went out for a walk with this woman and then he made it into a poem which was later turned into a song. And obviously she was there. And so because she was physically there when the genesis of the song was, she was party to the alchemy that the poet used to turn what were real events into something poetic, and that is what Patrick Kavanagh means when he says, "I showed her the secret sign." On Raglan, not that key, in fact. On Raglan, that's still on. See, I should have done this at soundcheck, shouldn't I? I do, as I say, it's too easy for me to just play the same shit every night. It's much more interesting for me. It might be frightening for you to see me not to be able to get straight into these songs, but listen, I know it's been a long time since I've been here, but I promise you this, I'll never become slick, alright? I mean, I don't like to pour piss on a fellow artist. But I did Woe Adelaide, and I did it like this. One bloke with a guitar and a keyboard player, couple of lights, and that's it, just me, and no dancing, no massive light show, just this and me. And then about 2 hours later, I went to watch Bon Iver. Fucking huge light show, 50 geezers on stage, for Coda. I stood there and thought to myself, mate, he's just a fucking bloke with a guitar. Just do it. Not all that shit. You're never going to make any money doing it like that. On Raglan Road of an autumn day, I saw her first moon. That her dark hair would weave a snare that I might someday rule. I saw the danger, yet I passed along the enchanted way. And I said, let grief be a falling leaf at the dawning of the day. On Grafton Street in November, we walked lightly along the ledge of a deep ravine where can be seen the worth of passion's pledge. The Queen of Hearts still making tarts, and I not making hay. And I love too much, and by such is happiness thrown away. I gave her gifts of the mind, I gave her the secret sign that's known to the artists who have known the true gods of sound and tone, and word and tint I never did stint. I gave her poems to say, with her own name there, and her long dark hair like clouds o'er the fields of May. A quiet street where old ghosts meet, I see her walking now, away from me so hurriedly, my reason must allow that I have wooed not as I should, a creature made of clay. When the angel woos the clay, he'll lose his wings at the dawn of day. On Raglan Road of an autumn day, I saw her first anew, that her dark hair would weave a snare that I might someday rue. I saw the danger, yet I passed along the enchanted way. And I said, let grief be a falling leaf at the dawning of the day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's all yours, mate. I love singing it. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to sing it. I don't often get to sing that one. What a beautiful song. Patrick Kavanagh wrote it as a poem, if you're wondering where it came from. And one of the great Irish poets, Kavanagh. And it all happens around the streets of Dublin. But as I say, it's not really a song about Dublin. I would argue, and I hope I don't offend anybody by saying this, it's not even really an Irish song. It's a song about the universality of creativity, about how you can take a moment and distill from that moment something really beautiful and precious. And Kavanagh did it in such a way there that he even put that line in for those of us who do that. He put that line in about the secret sign that just kind of, every time I hear it, I think about, it's best not to think about the process, it's best not to look there, it's best not to look in that box, it's best just to let it happen. But Kavanagh, he did something really, really special when he did that. God bless him. To leave enough hot water for your morning bath, but I not thought I hate to hear you talk that way, but I won't be the first to say I'm sorry. The past is always knocking incessant, trying to break through into the present. We have to work to keep it out, but I won't be the first to shout it's over. I used to want to plant bombs the last night at the proms. Now you'll find me with the baby in the bathroom of that big shell, listening for the sound of the sea. I steal a kiss from you in the supermarket. I walk you down the aisle, you steal my basket, and through it all, the stick I take is worth it for the love we make. I used to want to plant bombs at the last night of the proms. Now you'll find me with the baby in the bathroom of that big shell, listening for the sound of the sea. The baby and me. I stayed in bed, alone, uncertain, and I met you. You drew the curtains, the sun came up, the trees began to sing, and light shone in on everything. I love you. The sun came up, the trees began to sing, and light shone in on everything. I love you. It feels like I've been in Melbourne for ages, because I was here for a week at the start, about a month ago now. I was here for a week rehearsing with Neil, and we're kind of like, while we were there, bish bash bosh doing stuff, a massive cyclone went through the North Island of New Zealand, which is where we were headed. Shocking, did some terrible damage in the North Island, and it reminded me that, two things actually. The one, that the ocean is the most powerful thing on this planet, and if it gets angry, we're all in trouble. And secondly, those of us who live on small islands off of larger land masses, we are really up shit creek with regard to the ocean and the weather, you know? Whether it's New Zealand or where we live, it's a real problem. We fear most that the Gulf Stream will switch off. It's driven by cold water coming from the Arctic, going down the east coast of America into the Caribbean, pushing warm water up into the Bay of Biscay and up the English Channel that keeps us temperate. Now, without that, we're on the same latitude as Newfoundland. And I went to the Trinity Bay in Newfoundland once in summer whale watching. And in Trinity Bay, there was an iceberg as big as this theatre sitting there still from the winter, still just melting away. Now, if 100 years' time, those fuckers are coming down between Norway and Scotland into the English Channel, it's going to be an absolute disaster. That's what we're facing. So I'm kind of, I will say, I am encouraged by what happened during the lockdowns, a number of people who did recognise the fundamental need to act in the common good. I think that puts us in good stead for facing up to the climate crisis. I hope, anyway, I really do hope. And I know you had a tough time, Ian, I appreciate that. I know you had a really tough time, but I just want to tell you something that you really should know. 6 times as many people died in my country during the lockdown and died in your country. 6 times as many people. 406 people per million in your country. 2,285 per million in my country. Now, I know you had a rough old time, but let me tell you, I can think of 200,000 people in my country who would rather have been locked in their houses for 6 months than have been burying their nan. So, that aspect of the common good is something really important for us. If we're ever going to solve the climate crisis, we do need to face up to that aspect, that we will have to work together in those kind of ways, and it will involve us having to do things perhaps we don't want to do. Sometimes I think about Saturday's child and all about the time we were running wild. I've been searching for the dolphins in the sea. Sometimes I wonder, do you ever think of me? I'm not the one to tell this world how to get along. I only know that peace will come when all our hate is gone. I've been searching for the dolphins in the sea. Sometimes I wonder, do you ever think of me? Searching for the dolphins in the sea. This world may never change. And all the ways of war will change it back again. I've been searching for the dolphins in the sea. Sometimes I wonder, do you ever think of me? This world may never change. This world may never change. This world may never change. velvet America, half glimpse in the headlights between the trees, who punctured the beauty and invited monsters such as these. The pig-faced boy, the corrupted clown, the grotesque figure who never comes into town. Something broken, something stained, something waiting for the worms to claim, and you can never go there again except in nightmares. The voyeur who dares not come near knows excitement is merely the beginning of fear. Shadow came this morning and left some candy in my shoe. They're always watching me, watching the things I do. Cindy of 1,000 lives, Cindy of the Stepford Wild. Looked at all the photographs. Cindy, which one of them is you? I've looked at all the photographs. Cindy, which one of them is you? I've looked at all the photographs. Cindy, which one of them is you? I've looked at all the photographs. Cindy, which one of them is you? So I probably could use a vocoder on that one, couldn't I? That would, might just give it a bit of a lift. I'm for all you art students. Yeah, why not? Well, before I go, I do want to just want to give you some of just a word in your shell-like about the dangers inherent in referenda. Referenda seem relatively straightforward thing. It's a piece of paper with an idea on it. You vote yes, you vote no. Something happens or it doesn't happen. You probably know we had a referendum in Britain in 2016, and as a result, we left the European Union. There you go. That's what it will say. That's what it will say in the history books. Everybody knows that. They pulled the handle, out we went. Okay. What it won't say in the history books was that we, as a people, destroyed our reputation in the eyes of the world. We undermined people's trust in us as a nation that will act in good faith. We showed ourselves incapable of working with others. We revealed that when we sat down with the 27 other nations in Brussels and Strasbourg, we couldn't get it out of our head that we were somehow part of someone else's empire. And as a result of that, we did something to ourselves that will probably take a generation to put back right again. We soiled ourselves in front of the world, and everyone knows it.
So I just want to say, if you do have a referendum on the voice, and I hope you do, when you go into the ballot box, just be thinking that it isn't just about what it says on a bit of paper. It says a very big signal out to the rest of the world, exactly about who you are. Whether you are still a nation that is obsessed with the colonising idea of Australia and the Union Jack in your flag, or whether you are a young new nation willing to grasp where you are in the reality of the world now and to right the historical wrongs that were done by people in this country. It sends a very, very important message. And you need to... And I'll tell you who your biggest enemy is. It is not those people who don't believe in the rights for Indigenous people. There'll be enough of those. But the people who are most dangerous are the utter cynics. The people who just want to kick Canberra's arse. They don't care what's on that bit of paper. They're sick and tired of everything. They're sick and tired of me. They're sick and tired of you. They're sick and tired of all politics. And they find in a referendum they have the opportunity to fuck up the lives of a load of people they don't fucking like. And they, brothers, sisters and siblings, they are the most dangerous people in your referendum. They are the people who put Brexit through by 4%. Those people. We took it for granted. We thought, you know, it's going to happen. It's not a problem. Why would anyone leave the European Union? But those people who are motivated by spite, who just wanted to kick Westminster's arse, they went out and they voted and they voted and they voted and they voted. And you know what? The fact that they have to vote makes them even fucking angrier. So they're the people, the most dangerous people. You have really got to fight against the cynicism that's behind politics in these days, because there's so much of it about. It's everywhere. It really is everywhere. You know, Woody Guthrie had on his guitar, "This machine kills fascists." If I had a message on my guitar, if I had to paint something on my guitar, it would be death to cynicism. Because that's our greatest enemy. All of us want to make the world a better place. And not the cynicism of the Daily Mail and Rupert Murdoch, but our own cynicism, our own sense that nothing can change and no one gives a shit about this stuff. If we can't overcome that cynicism and get out there and make the world a better place, then there really is no fucking hope. This isn't a song about your referendum, but it is a song called "Accident Waiting to Happen." Always been impressed with a girl who could sing for a supper and get breakfast as well. That's the way I am. Heaven help me. Sitting down like peace campaigners round here as he nailed another one to the wall. That's what gets me in trouble. Heaven help me. Goodbye and good luck to all the rubbish that you've spoken. Goodbye and good luck to all the promises you've broken. Your life has lost its dignity, its beauty and its passion. You're an accident waiting to happen. Here you are standing at the bar and you're giving me grief about the USSR. That chip on your shoulder gets bigger as you get uglier. One of these nights you're gonna get caught. It will give you a pregnant pause for thought. You're a dedicated swallower of fascism. Time up and time out for all the liberties you've taken. Time up and time out for all the friends that you've forsaken. And if you choose to watch the way like death is back in fashion, you're an accident waiting to happen. So unoriginal, I have all the self-loathing of a wolf in sheep's clothing. see she's broken. Your life has lost its dignity, its beauty, and its passion. You're an accident, waiting to happen. You're an accident, waiting to happen. You're a dedicated swallow of fascism. You're an accident, waiting to happen. Till next time, you've been a really great Friday night audience. I'll see you again. Good night. Fabulous 3 nights we've had. You know, sometimes I never, you know, with the old cancel culture lie, the idea that I don't think you quite grasp the format of this, mate. I know where you're coming from. I get it. But this ain't just any Billy Bragg gig. This is a very special kind of 3-night weird thing. Again, mate, you're not right quite really. There's thin parameters in which you can shout the names of songs out that I might play, and that ain't one of them. But let me just say that when you're shouting out requests, please remember that you only have to remember the title. Alright, some poor bastard has to remember the chords, the key, the words. I'm 65 years old, give me a fucking break. I don't get to play this song very often, so I thought we'd play it one more time. There's a chill tonight on the Yarra. Winter is creeping in, while far away my loved ones wake up in England spring, and although delights await me all the way to Flinders Street, it's that little piece of heaven with which they must compete. When the saints take on the magpies, Sunday too far away, I barrack for St Kilda in that funny game.
pouring down. Yes, it's still raining in England. Guess that's why I like it here. There's a brolly in my hotel room for when the skies are clear. 'Cause it never rains in Sydney, and it never rains in Perth. Sure, Adelaide's a desert, and Brisbane's just scorched earth. So excuse me, please, such days as these, and send me to the town where the children sing when St Kilda win and the rain comes pouring down. So wake me up tomorrow and send me home again to where the hammers sing. I'm forever blowing bubbles in the pouring London rain. If you're going to be stuck somewhere, might as well be stuck here. That's my opinion. Thank you for that. Thank you. A bit late to get rowdy, isn't it? I'm spent. What are you talking about? I'm nearly done with 2 hours here. Oh, hang on. Wait up. I know in the old days I didn't used to tune up, but that was punk rock. This is your Americana, isn't it? Where singer-songwriters go to die. Hey, it's a wrong night. What am I going to tell you? It's a wrong night. Let's see if we can play this, shall we? Kiss me good night and say my prayers. Leave the lights on at the top of the stairs. Tell me the names of the stars up in the sky. The treetops on the window pane, that feeling smothers me again. Daddy, is it true that we all have to die? The top of the stairs is darkness. The top of the stairs is darkness. I close my eyes and when I looked, your name was in the memorial book. And what had become of all the things we planned?
I accepted the commiserations of all your friends and your relations, but there's some things I still don't understand. You were so tall, how could you fall? Photograph of a summer's day, a little boy's lifetime away, is all I've left of everything we've done. Like a pale moon in a sunny sky, death gazes down as I pass by, to remind me that I'm but my father's son. To you, this tribute, I offer up to you this Tank Park salute. Just talking a second ago just about cancel culture, the myth of cancel culture, which is a kind of like a kind of reactionary's way of talking about accountability. But I never fear being cancelled. I don't worry about being cancelled because I never get cancelled. I only get postponed. But it all comes right in the end. I don't think being cancelled is what people think it is anymore. But being postponed is just bloody annoying, isn't it? Because it never comes right on exactly the right day on your birthday or your day off or whatever. I know some people have had to, because of the changes that we've been through, we've done so many daft things, but I really appreciate your loyalty and hanging on to your tickets. I really do. I want to thank you for that. Sorry, should have put that on first. Yeah, because I'll tell you why. Because this isn't just work to me, it's more like therapy. In the sense where I come out here, if I feel sort of sad or cynical about something, I'll come out here in the dark with you lot, and I'll sing about it, and you all clap in the right place, and I don't feel half so bad about it when I come on stage. It's nice, that, isn't it? It's nice, it's like therapeutic. In fact, when I come off stage tonight, I feel sure, I know, that my activism will be recharged and my cynicism will be kicked to the curb. And my aim in doing this, and coming here and doing this, is to get you to go home feeling the same. That's exactly how I want you to go home and feel, Because in music, there's a, I was talking earlier about empathy, that feeling when someone's singing a song and everybody's singing it. There's a solidarity there, there's an emotional solidarity that you can't get online. Thank fuck for that. You can't get it. I thought we'd all be out of business. You can't get it online. AI is not going to give you that feeling. I can try to tell you that for nothing. So that kind of sensibility is really, really important because it's that feeling that I have doesn't come from the songs, you know, that my activism being recharged. It's not the business of playing the songs. I could play these, I played them in a sound check. It didn't recharge my activism. I could take all this in my hotel room, play it really loud, shout the top of my voice off. Still wouldn't get it. I get that feeling from the room, from you, from the feeling of everybody here. What I want you to do is get that as well and take that home as well. I want you to pick up on some of that solidarity. I want you to feel what it's like to sing accident waiting to happen with 1,200 people, whatever it is. That feeling, that solidarity, because next week I'm going to be in another city laying this shit on a different audience. But you're still going to be here in this town having to deal with whatever it is you have to deal with in your school or your home or your workplace or whatever the fuck. And I want you to feel, when you have that moment where you feel that you're feeling marginalised or you're feeling, you know, that people don't understand the way the world is, I want you to think to yourself, well, at least I know there's a room full of people in Melbourne who give a shit about this stuff. Because this, brothers and sisters, is the power of music. This is where the power of music is. Not the power to change the world, music has no agency, but the power that music has is the power to make you believe that the world can be changed. It might have been Camelot for Jack and Jacqueline, but on the chain of our highway filling up with gasoline. Fidel Castro's brother spies a rich lady who's crying over luxury's disappointment, so he walks over and he's trying to sympathise with her. But he thinks that he should order that the Third World War is just around the corner. Soviet Union, a scientist is blinded by the resumption of nuclear testing, and he is reminded that Dr. Robert Oppenheimer's optimism fell the first hurdle. In the cheese pavilion, and the only noise I hear is the sound of someone stacking chairs, mopping up spilled beer, and someone asking questions, and basking in the light of the 15 filled minutes of the fantasy writer. Mixing pop and politics, they ask me what the use is. I offer them embarrassment and my usual excuses, while looking down the corridor out to where the van is waiting. I'm looking for the great leap forward. Yeah! Jumble sales are organised, pamphlets have been posted. Even after all this time, there's still parties to be hosted. You can be active with the activists or sleeping with the media while you're waiting for the great leap forwards. One leap forwards, 2 leaps back. Will Elon Musk hit me the sack? Waiting for the great leap forwards. Well, here comes the future and you can't run from it. You've got a tattoo, I wanna be on it. Waiting for the great leap forwards. But if no one out there understands, start your own bloody podcast, cut out the middleman. Every bastard's got one. In a perfect world we'd all sing in tune, but there ain't nobody that can sing like me. Wherever you're doing that line of key. It's a mighty long way down rock and roll from top of the pops. What's top of the pops, granddad? Waiting for the great leap forwards. So join the struggle while you may. The revolution's just a tea towel away. Available for reasonable price in the foyer. Thank you very much. We've got 2 minutes left. What can I play in 2 minutes? I was 21 years when I wrote this song. I'm 22 now, but I won't be for long. People ask me when I grow up to be a man, but all the girls I loved in school are really pushing pranks. I loved you then as I love you still. I put you on a pedestal, I put you on a pill. Don't feel bad about letting you go, just feel sad about letting you know. Here we go! Been the best singers of all 3 nights tonight, that's strange. I think that's why we're playing this, just a kind of a thank you and lifting me up. I love the words you wrote to me, but that was bloody yesterday. I can't survive on what you said every time you need a friend. I saw 2 shooting stars last night, I wished on them. On space out where I wish you cared. Here we go again! I don't want to change the world. What? I'm looking for you. I don't want to change the world. I'm looking for you. We're going to sing a verse for Kirsty McCall. My tears were full of strange ideas. My mind was set despite the fears. But other things got in the way. I never asked that boy to stay. Once upon a time at home I sat beside the telephone, waiting for someone to pull me through. When at last it didn't ring, I knew it wasn't you.